Today, Dan and I are going to humble ourselves on camera as we talk to a guy who is easily 4 times smarter than the two of us combined. He's going to tell us how he's making a huge splash for big companies and small companies online. We can't wait to introduce you to this New York powerhouse. He's an entrepreneur, digital media strategist, and trendsetter. It's our pre-Rapture edition on This Week in Marketing. Hi, and welcome to our pre-Rapture edition of This Week in Marketing. I am Scott McDonald, your host on This Week in Marketing, and I'm talking here with co-host Dan Granger. Yeah, you got to give some auditory way of telling me that you're there.
I'm here.
What are you doing for the Rapture?
Well, that depends on if there is a Rapture tomorrow.
Oh.
I know it's on the calendar for a lot of people.
Yeah.
In New York, you've probably
It's
seen
huge.
those buses.
The Rapture is huge in New York.
Sort of a big deal.
Yeah.
It's sort of,
I'm out here on the West Coast.
Depending,
my kids are back on the East
depending,
Coast.
you decide to do it on the West Coast.
Okay,
well,
here's
we're on
the
a delay here. It's going to happen 3 hours
Here's
earlier.
the best Rapture idea I've heard. I was talking to a guy today, and what he's doing, he's got a Goodwill bags in his garage filled with clothes. He's going to go and take the clothes and put little piles of clothes around his neighborhood, so it looks like the Rapture came and took the souls. He's also getting some. I'm giving away secrets, but it's really fun. He's doing blow up dolls and filling them with helium, and at one point in the day, he's just going to release them all into the air. The Raptures come to claim the souls. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Good marketing, right?
Yeah, one of our radio stations is doing a Rapture party tomorrow.
Are they?
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that God probably would not tell that guy if tomorrow were going to be the day. I don't think I'd buy it. It does not sell for me. The marketing message does not sell.
That's well. Let's get into it, shall we? Yes,
indeed.
Yeah, we want to talk about some things that do sell, and one of the people that sells is the guy we're talking to today. He is the Chief Digital Media Officer at Kirschenbaum Bond. How do you say this?
Kirschenbaum Bond, Senecal and Partners. Say it like 4 times fast.
And you are responsible for overseeing the entire digital media practice, client digital strategy, keeping on top of new technologies and trends, exploring M&A opportunities with digital media companies. His name is Darren Herman, and he works with some of the big clients, including Armani, Barclay Ad, Victoria's Secret, PBS, Sesame Street, and Vanguard. Darren is also a board member and advisor to both startups and emerging companies, and again, like I said, smarter than Dan and me combined.
You know, there's something about companies that have these names that are really hard to pronounce.
Yes, that means they're better.
It means they're smarter.
Yeah.
They're better. Is that a marketing strategy?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good way to look at it, right?
How can we trick people so they don't exactly know how to pronounce it and feel inferior to us?
Or the other way to look at it is like, why does Madison Avenue have to use their names as company names?
That's
right?
true.
So, like, why do the founders need to have their name on the?
Well,
that's going to get me in trouble.
A spokesperson is a great marketing tactic. It shows conviction in your product. You know, CEOs usually have an ego, so that helps too. But it does personalize it. Yeah.
Well, no, we're talking in a couple of weeks with, speaking of founders and speaking of ad agency names, this name of this company is a ad agency in Los Angeles called Wong Duty Wiener.
Yes, and they're pretty awesome.
You know them?
Long Duty.
Yeah, they're making waves, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I didn't know they had a wiener attached to it.
Yeah,
they just added the wiener.
They added the
wiener. They just did a.
They had surgery.
Yeah. Speaking of making waves, you're making waves. What do you do?
We're trying to.
Yeah.
We're trying to make waves.
Are we going to show us a clip?
Oh yeah, we got a clip.
Apparently, there's a clip.
NetJets.
Let's see a clip.
NetJets.
Be there. Beyond getting there. To be there is to arrive, to achieve. With the world's largest private aviation fleet, highest safety standards, and the financial strength of Berkshire Hathaway, only NetJets has the commitment and resources to be there for you. NetJets. Be there.
Okay, so that is at the end, Berkshire Hathaway. That's a pretty big departure from a Geico ad.
Very, very. It's nice that they have many different agencies, so we get to do some fun stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
With NetJets and.
Well, throw some names out there for us, will you, about just kinds of companies like that you work directly with, just to give our audience a little more perspective.
Yeah, so we actually work with News Corp. So launched the Daily.
It's a tiny one.
Tiny little one. Giorgio Armani.
No idea.
Armani Exchange, the big T-shirts.
Right.
We also got Vanguard from an investments perspective.
No.
And Sesame Street.
Never heard of it.
Those are just a select few.
Oh, Sesame Street with the little guys.
Little Muppets,
guys.
Grover. Elmo, my little buddy.
Isn't Sesame Street that musical that was running in New York for a while and they cussed and stuff?
Wait, how do they advertise? They're PBS, right? Aren't they publicly
They
funded?
are. They are. But
So the government is paying you to advertise their programming.
I can't talk about that on this.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, but we do need to support, right? Because they take sponsors.
Yeah.
So if you go to sesamestreet.org,
Yeah.
you could actually advertise on it. And so they do have sponsors. And so the thought is the more traffic that we can drive to sesamestreet.org, the more the sponsors will be calling them. So if we can drive qualified traffic to Sesame Street's website, then the phones will be ringing. And guess what? They are ringing. And they're doing a good job.
The NetJets thing we just saw, that wasn't made for television, was it? Was that a TV? It's not a TV ad.
So there is TV spots and there's also digital spots for
Okay.
it. And that you'll see adapted in both sides.
What is Speed to Genius?
Speed to genius, you know. It's we came up with something to sort of a rallying cry around the agency, and it came up really back in 2008 when sort of the economy sort of fell off, and clients were calling us still for the same quality of work, just with less dollars because sort of the economy wasn't there. So they wanted
do
things
more for less.
do more,
Yeah.
do it better than you've ever done,
Yes.
and do it cheaper than you've ever done.
So you actually heard that in the last few years.
Oh gosh, I think we've all heard it. It's got some
Yeah.
gray hair, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna do more, we're gonna do it better, and it's gonna be cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, you can have like two, right? You can have it do it better,
Yeah.
and do more quality, like higher volume. You
Right.
can take that. You can do it cheap,
Yeah.
but you can't have all three. And so we sort of said, well, we can't say no to our clients.
Yeah.
And so how do we re-engineer the agency to deliver great quality? And that's really speed to genius. So we have a saying around, you walk around the agency, it says, do shit that matters. And it's
Oh,
just
you're gonna
everywhere.
like one of the ads we
You
do
walk
later
in,
on.
yeah. It's like, do shit that matters. So cut out everything that doesn't actually lead to moving a process along. And,
Does that mean like you don't let people chit chat in the office and all the BS and
as long as that
forwarding
chit
of
chat is
emails?
about something that's going on
Yeah.
on an account.
But no bathroom breaks, clearly.
No bathroom breaks.
Right.
We actually
Ping
cut
pong
out all
tables.
water. Everything is all coffee now, so it's all caffeine.
I saw a picture of you guys all playing video games, so I don't know.
Oh, nice.
That's-
We do have a test
Genius is
kitchen,
a-
right?
Yeah.
So we actually
Yeah.
did. We put in a test kitchen. So the media kitchen installed this beautiful technology lab that sits in the office because none of us could afford to have all the toys, the technology toys out there. The 3D TVs,
Yeah.
all the new mobile phones, everything that's out there. But the agency can afford it. So we put it in. We have all these awesome technologies within the agency, and we're able to now experience that. So we can build bigger things for our clients. We know how to use Android phones versus iOS and things like that. And it's a way that everyone now has access to the same technology resource.
Your resume's still a lot to get my head around. Can we pretend we're in an elevator? We're going to the 12th floor, right? And I'm gonna get in next to you. Ready? I'm gonna push number 12. Hey. So what do you do?
I sort of the liaison between Silicon Valley and Madison Avenue.
Oh, what is
Period.
that?
All right, let's
Look at
jump
that.
on that.
Isn't that
All right,
interesting?
yeah,
I like
no,
that.
That really helped me when you said that earlier. Can you just tell us what that means today and what that's going to mean in 5 to 10 years from now?
Sure. So Madison Avenue, historically always resistant to change. We've been doing the same thing. We still walk around with our martini glasses and our brown suits and our gray suits, right? But what's happening is technology, right? And technology is evolving and evolving and evolving faster than it's ever evolved before. So that's going to penetrate Madison Avenue. So how do we harness all of this technology, not just for our clients, because we've been doing that, right? We've been buying on This Weekend. We've been buying on Yahoo, Google, everything over time. But how do we as an organization change? How does an ad agency on Varick Street that has over 500 people in our location, and we have 4 different locations in the US, how do we change as an organization to harness that technology? And some of that technology is going to be built at our location, but some of that technology is being built around us. So how do we invest in that, and how do we acquire that to make sure that we're relevant in a decade from now? And are pushing sort of
You're
the boundaries.
really interesting because you could be a guest on 3 of the Hallmark shows on this network. This one, obviously, marketing, and then we've got This Week in Venture Capital, and we got This Week in Startups. And you are like a venture capitalist at this agency, right? You are kind of an angel investor into new businesses and new trends. How do you spot those, and how do you know that this is a good investment for you?
Yeah, so we started KBS+P Ventures about January 1st of this year, and we've been tracking 1 new investment a month. And some people are saying, well, there's all these venture capitalists and funds are investing in startups. Well, why an agency? And my thought is, I mean, everybody around New York right now, if you can't raise money and you're in Manhattan, there's a problem. And everyone's writing angel checks. And the problem is when everyone's signing checks and doling out money, how do you differentiate? If you can take $100,000 from everybody, then how do you pick who you take those checks for? So there's like 3 or 4 great venture capitalists in New York that have great podiums, like Fred Wilson. Yeah. If he writes something on his blog, obvc.com, then he can break or make a startup. And so for us, though, is how do we leverage our strategic resource, which is our entire entity? All of the marketing, all the media prowess, all the general advertising creative, and how do we leverage that for startups? So we're still going to go write that same $100,000 check that you can go take from an angel investor on the road, but we also bring our Rolodex of CMO level clients. We bring our Rolodex of, or internal processes of the oomph that we have at the agency, so all the technology solutions, the creative solutions, and we can help our brands and push them forward. We've been marketing for Fortune 100 clients, now we're marketing for startups as well.
How would a small business on the West Coast come to your attention?
KBS+P.VC, and go to that website and contact us directly.
Okay. All right, so take us back a couple steps. Silicon Valley meets Madison Avenue.
Yeah.
What does that mean for a startup with a small budget, no money to brand? You know, I've got $10,000 to spend, or, you know, and if it doesn't work, I'm dead, and if it does, I'll spend more, you know.
Yeah.
That's where I think 99 out of 100 of these guys start. What do they do based on the information that you now have?
Yeah, I mean, and this is funny for an agency person to say that's working with tens, if not hundreds of $1 million budgets for multinational clients, which is now is the best time ever not to spend a dime. And so you can market yourself, you can market a brand, you can create a brand without spending a dime. And why? Because the cost of content creation. We can create content, you as a startup can create as much content as you want without having to pay for it. All you need is your iPhone camera, your flip camera, whatever you need, and time. Yeah. So take time out of the equation because there's cost to time and doing things, there's trade-offs, but create as much content as you can. I mean, look at Justin Bieber. Right?
Do I have to?
There was no market. Careful. Well, I can't talk much on that, but we got something coming out next week with this guy. So you got to look at Justin Bieber though, right? There was no dollar put next to him for marketing back when he was a little kid. His mom just put videos of him up on YouTube, right? And now look at where Biebs is.
But I thought he like stalked Usher in a parking lot. Don't you have to do that too? And be really talented and good at dancing.
So stalking, there's no dollars. Didn't pay for that, right?
Yeah,
so I mean, it's being like if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be scrappy, right? And you don't know what doors not to knock on. And so the most successful entrepreneurs are going to be the scrappiest ones, and it's also like necessity breeds creativity. So you're going to be as creative as you can because you need to. And just create content. You don't need to spend money on marketing.
Now, before we go to marketing rehab, I got one more for you. Go. And that is creating content. Can you give us some sort of example or case study where you have a company, they created content for very little money, and this is what it did to their sales?
So I can't talk about actual dollar that we moved, but I can give 2 examples.
We'll do euros.
Yen.
How many yen?
Exactly, Swiss francs. But we will. So one of which is a retail location that's in and around Manhattan, but also in New Jersey and Long Island. No longer a client of ours, but I'm a big fan. It's called Century 21. So you go there for discounts on clothing. You never know what they're going to have in the store, but everything is highly discounted. And they have some big name brands, similar to like Home Goods from like a home perspective. And what we did was we took very little digital budget. We called up 13 different women bloggers, because it's all about fashion, and we said, come to the store, we're going to shut it down for the night, and you guys come in, we'll give you all the cameras, and you guys go film your own show and use any asset within the store. And so what these women came up with was like, one created like a runway show, so they created like a fashion runway, and they put on all the clothes from the store, and they showed how to make different outfits with some of the clothes, and those kinds of ideas. And we launched this thing, it was like under $25,000, more like $10,000, but the return on that was tremendous. And while I can't talk about the dollar amount, every single video had a call to action. And I stress call to action. So tell the user what they need to do next. So either insert a coupon code or go to a certain website, URL, or text message, whatever it happened to be. The response was tremendous. Why? Because they created original content, the content resonated with an audience, and there was a call to action.
So
Can you hand me my brain?
Yeah. Here's the obvious question: why aren't they your client anymore?
Great question,
I just
and
need
I'm
to
not
know.
going to
I
answer that
always
on
have to
camera.
ask
You
that.
know?
Move on to our next
All
one.
right.
Come on.
I want to come back to my office on Monday.
I think it's
Not be locked
time for rehab, our marketing rehab, and we've got a question from somebody that came in last week. I think actually as soon as we finished last week's show, we walked out and there was his question.
We have the smartest viewers in the world.
We
by
really
the way.
do, and this guy is
This
no
guy's
exception.
a viewer.
You're a viewer.
I am a viewer.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm a This Week in total viewer.
Oh, nice.
You guys kind of diminished the praise I tried to give ourselves.
You know, but I think you're the best looking
Whatever.
host, though. I think you're the best looking host.
Say that when I'm sitting
it's
next to-
cleft.
sitting next
It's
to
this
Scott
blue
McDonald.
shirt that
Yeah.
goes right with your eyes. I think
Yeah.
you're the best looking host there.
That's right. Here's the question. It relates to a Twitter account that this guy runs, and it's, you know what? Before I get to the question, I'm going to actually dial him in. We are high technology here.
High technology. Yeah.
And I am going
Where
to...
Silicon Valley meets.
I'm not going to give his number out on the air.
Yeah. Was that a
And
phone
I'm
from
going to
1970?
call him.
Is he like ringing with the round dial?
Yeah, no, this is how we get it done in L.A.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Operator.
Hi, this is Josh.
Yes, Josh, can you hear us?
I can.
All right, and I think we can
talking
see
into
you
a
on...
seashell?
Yeah. Josh, I'm sorry the Skype thing didn't work out. I think we can actually see you. There you are, but we're going to have to listen to you on the phone, so great. So I'm going to talk about your case here. This is what you wrote in. You've got this Twitter account, and you call it, it's at free. You acquired it. It's very cool. You got it 3 months ago. You're interested in ideas to market it. The concept is that you tweet only the best offers out there. So you actually curate this list. It's not like everything free out there on the internet or the interwebs. You actually go, okay, you take a look at these free offers and say, yeah, I actually like this. And here's the Twitter feed right now. You can see kind of some of the offers that he's putting out there. He's trying to grow this thing, and he wants to figure out what to do with this at free, this really cool Twitter handle. So he's run some ads on My Likes. He's done some just organic growth because it's a cool name. He did a giveaway for an iPod Shuffle, and all of that has contributed to a few hundred followers, but nothing like seismic. He wants to know, what does he do from here? What's the position, and how does he grow this thing?
And before we just start spitting information at you, do you want to frame this at all? Do you want to add anything to what Scott said, or throw in a very specific question before we just give you general advice on what to do with it?
Absolutely. I think Scott summarized it really well. We are at a couple thousand followers, and the name has been helpful. One thing that I think you all might be able to help with is, the curation helps, and the name is really good. But I think long term, at some point, I want to expand it into maybe its own website, maybe Facebook. But at what point do I make that transition, since a lot of the value is in the name itself? And how long do I build my audience before I actually make the transition to actually have like a website that's based around it?
Okay, good.
All right, so we're each going to get 60 seconds on the clock to speak to that.
All right, I'm going to time you, Dan, because you always cheat.
All right,
You're going to
say
start.
go.
Go.
Number one, free is obviously genius. Marketing, if you've got free, you've got something that's really valuable. But I would make sure you understand that Twitter is not a .com. You don't have free.com, and so it can't quite be treated as that. If Twitter is no longer popular in 5 years, I'm sorry to say it, but it's possible, you don't want to be completely dependent on that. I don't think the business model needs to be completely dependent on Twitter. I think you can have multiple points through which you build up this database of people that you give free offers to. What I would really encourage you to do is not worry as much about how to advertise it. Worry about the frequency that you hit your database that you do have with offers, because they're going to be very sensitive. If they're getting spammed all the time with stuff they don't want, they're going to dump it. In addition to that, have really good quality on that list, and it will spread on its own because it's free. I know there are a lot of companies that the first step for a new acquisition is to give away an item of perceived value, and they'll pay for that acquisition by giving something free.
Bing bong! Hey, you finished. Hey, Darren, do you want to go next, or do you want
Sure.
me to go next?
I'll go.
You go.
Because
Okay.
then I risk you saying what I want to say.
This is impossible. Mine is so genius. I have
So-
sped to genius with my answer.
Nice. Come work at KBS+P.
How much? All right, let's hear yours.
So I think the first is, I don't think you're using Twitter right. Which is, Twitter's an interesting communications vehicle, but the nice thing about Twitter is it's it's buy, right? Like you can talk, but also your listeners and the people can communicate back with you. And if you're constantly just showing offers, then you're not using Twitter right. You might as well just have a newsletter or a website that just puts free offers out there. So the first thing is actively solicit from your fan base. So allow your fan base to be curators as well. Celebrate them, talk to them. And that's really important. And then also is knowing when to tweet at the right time. So there's tools like Social Flow out there that allow you to optimize when you're sending out your tweets to your particular fan base. The second of which is you sort of have the top level domain, so to speak, of the Twitter sphere for free, right? So instead of .com, you've got @free. So with that is become that free celebrity. Pimp yourself out as much as humanly possible on the news as sort of a celebrity and create a lot of video around free offers.
Damn it. That was good. Forget what I was going to say. Just listen to him.
It's like 8 Mile. You took away all your...
That's right.
It was good.
No. Okay, so here's mine. And actually, I called Dan a cheater. I actually cheated. We reached out to a company we interviewed before called Culture Jam, Promo Jam, a guy named Matt McNaughton, one of the co-founders. And he says what you should do is offer curated picks, a list of free offers and giveaways in the form of the @free branded digest. You'd have this somewhere on the web, so you would actually need to create a forum or a web page in order to host this. Now, in order for people to get weekly or daily access to this list that you curate, they actually have to tweet. It could be, just one tweet in their feed, just to tell the world, like, hey, this is the cool thing. You can work with a company like Matt subtly added that you can use Promo Jam to promote this, but you can work with a company to basically say, okay, when they tweet, then they get this offer. And the offer is this kind of curated, really cool list that is kind of like an exclusive club. I would also say don't delay on Facebook. I'm seeing a lot of nice cross-pollination between @free and Facebook. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. I think you'll get it because the users or your friends and fans on Facebook will kind of guide the way the strategy should go.
That was the wrong answer.
I think that was right.
Based on the buzzer.
I think it was all right. I don't think we contradicted each other anyway.
Yeah, see, now they give you the good one.
Oh. Thanks a lot, Matt.
They're judging your responses back there.
Yeah, all right.
So, was that helpful?
Josh?
Yeah,
He hung up on us.
absolutely. It was helpful, and it seemed like the three of you, there was no contradiction, but you all covered different areas to deal with, so that's super helpful.
Yeah, I think we're all also excited. I mean, how did you get that? Can you just take 10 seconds and tell us? You buy it?
Well, to quote Twitter Terms of Service, it attempts to sell, buy, or solicit other forms of payment in exchange for username or violations. So
Yeah.
I would just say that there was a surfer in Argentina who registered the name and was never really using it, and he wanted it to be better used. So I guess I'd leave it at that. But
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
it was a neat thing to acquire.
Josh, you're
Yeah.
smart. But I just want to reiterate my point. Don't feel like you have to limit this to Twitter. You've
Yep.
got a viable business model, and it's dangerous to have one business dependent on another business. You can spread it out, but it is a great handle, and congratulations to you.
Okay, Josh?
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much
All
for your
right.
input.
Take care.
Thank you. Let me do the high-tech hangout. There we go. Let's play Which Test Won, and Which Test Won today is really fun. We are.
Can I do a plug really quick
Yeah,
first?
go ahead.
Okay, by the way, that was somebody that reached out to us last week. They emailed us at marketing@thisweekend.com, and we got to it on the show, expert advice, and you can have the same thing for your business. It's free exposure for you and some free advice for whatever it's worth. Marketing@thisweekend.com, also marketing TWI on Twitter, but send us an email. We will address it on camera.
Okay, Which Test Won comes from us from our friends at whichtest1.com, and we're looking at two different versions of a solicit for funds. And this is for, I believe, cancer research or a cancer hospital. And the question is, which direct mail letter lifted a hospital's average donation size by 307%? You're not going to have time to kind of look at both too low. You could look on it actually live right now at whichtest1.com. But the real differences are there's some massive copy changes. One is kind of testimonial based, and the other one is kind of fact based. Every 26 seconds, someone in the U.S. suffers a coronary event. Well, and that poor person. And then the other thing you'll see is at the bottom is the request for gifts is different. On this one we're looking at right here, it's $15, $25, or $35. The other one's asking for higher gift amounts. And the question is, which one of these perform better in terms of the average donation size? Do you have a feeling, Dan?
Yeah, I hate my feeling because I feel so torn. The clean one looks a lot better to me.
Yeah.
There's more specifics.
What's
more
the clean
facts.
one?
The one on the right, the brighter one, the one without the folds and everything. And then the other one that's based on the testimonial, the individual.
Yeah.
Version A, I'm going to guess that one, because it's about a human being and it's specific to that person, even though it's not as clean a presentation. So my head wants to say B, but my heart says A. I'm going to go A.
I'm going to go B because I think this is one of those trickster. I think my gut actually does say A with you. Like, what's the personal story? But I think what they're going to try to get at here is that the lower amount, the lower amount of money that you have to contribute, I think is going to get more engagement. And once people are there to give more money, then maybe they're like, well, maybe I'll add $100 to this. So I think that's going to get the quicker engagement and more money.
I agree. Lower cost entry.
Now, let me also say,
but we also don't know who the audience is, though.
We don't know.
Right?
There's
like
a lot of
going
things we
out
don't
to
know.
like.
Yeah,
And
this is a tough one.
Also, Darren, this is not a true A/B test. The copy's all different. The format's different. There's a lot of different things going on here. If true A/B would just be changing the cost.
Whoever's
probably.
wrong is only half wrong.
Exactly, that's true. So let's see
let's
who
see
won.
what we got.
It is which test won? B1.
So
and
I was super wrong.
You were super wrong, and Darren and I were right.
My head.
Woo!
was
I
lighter
am
than
6
mine.
of 7, sir. I'm 6 of 7. Yeah.
How many before I have to resign?
One more.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to do something
Next
fun
show.
called, what are we doing now? Oh yeah, does it sell?
Does it sell?
Does it sell? And Mr. Herman's going to stay with us to judge these ads that we're going to be looking at today. The first one comes to us
You gonna sing the Does
from
It Sell
where?
song?
Oh, yeah. I
Go.
don't know what we're looking
Initiation.
at first, actually. Do you know?
We're gonna go with Dan Adler,
Oh, Dan Adler.
the political.
All right, everybody, next shot wins.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
How old do you think these kids are?
They are 8, 9.
I don't know. He's got a crossover.
Wait.
Okay, so they're all bragging what their dads do for a living.
Yeah.
And here comes the key line. The kid swore.
All right. So now we get an explicit rating on iTunes for that word. Thanks a lot.
I already broke it.
Oh,
first
fly.
five.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He gets shit done.
Was that racist?
Why?
The insinuations about. Anyway.
I don't get the racism.
It's superpowers that. I'm gonna move on from
Okay,
that. I'm
good.
gonna say it's sold.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, because politicians have such a, they never speak the truth. They never say what they think. And this guy was clearly not polished. He was not safe. He didn't do the PC thing. He said, forget all the conventions of running for office. I'm going to go completely the other direction. It might have been crass to have a kid do that, but I think that especially in California, and he's a Democrat, he'll be fine. That sells.
No, to me it does not sell, and the reason why is if younger people voted in this country, that would sell. But I think the people that actually do vote would be probably a little bit offended by that ad, or if they even saw the ad at all. So to me, if he's not thinking about his target of actual voters, then no, it doesn't sell.
You got to
Sort of still on the fence. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the
Ultimately-
whole get shit done because it's
Yeah.
like do shit that matters.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm gonna go on the air of I think it did sell.
Okay.
We'll probably kind of get to figure that out soon enough.
We'll see.
I mean, after the
Primaries
election.
or whatever.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I want to see a bigger
follow
call to
up on
action
it.
though.
Bigger call to action.
Okay, now we are looking at an ad from Honda Civic.
Oh,
That's like
Isn't that-
that's like a sexual
isn't that
fetish
the guy
thing
from
in
Tax
some
Masters?
cultures. What?
so
Oh my gosh, you did not. Please fully delete that.
why? Do you
What are
work
they
with
going
them?
for, Dan? Do you understand what they're going for? Is it just like visually
Yeah,
arresting?
I'm going to give you my opinion on this.
Oh,
in just
all
a
right.
minute
Driving a
here.
Civic
So
makes you wanna
you've
be a
got
monster.
this creature. Is that even an animal? What is that?
I think it's well, it's of course an animal. What is it? A mineral?
Will you start, please?
I don't want to say this, and I feel really creepy about that. I actually saw the Twitter feed after this first aired, and like people were like, "What the hell was that thing?" But I think it does sell. The music was catchy. It made you pay attention to Civic in a different way. I think people have kind of the idea of a Civic as like the lowest rung of the ladder in Honda's portfolio, but this kind of made me look at the Civic in a new way. It's kind of a cooler car. I like the product shots of it, and that weird thing on the screen made me pay attention to the ad.
So what freaks me out a little bit?
Yeah.
Which is there's some
Scott voted the same way you did with which test won.
yeah, that he won too, right?
Yeah.
Which is like there's some consumer insight out there.
Yeah.
Because this is the second automotive commercial that I've seen from 2 different brands that use a Muppet or a hamster or something along those lines,
we had
right?
the guy in
like
before.
with Kia, right? You got like the
Angelo
black
we had
crows,
for
and
Kia.
you've got
but
like what consumer insight's telling us that like monsters sell cars?
But let me
like,
contrast that with the
or
Kia
hamsters,
ad.
right?
And then the Super Bowl, they had the sheep driving the car, which was a ripoff of the Kia ads with the hamsters.
But why do we
the
like
hamsters were just saying-
non-humans driving cars?
Because the hamster, at least there was a metaphor there. It was, you've got these, everybody's running in place, and you're actually moving past them. So you're on a wheel stuck on the treadmill, and they're actually moving forward.
Yeah.
And so there was a real metaphor there, and I actually thought they made the hamster cool. This was ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
This just doesn't make any sense.
honestly, I think
I can't
somebody's
connect
playing
the
a
dots.
joke at Honda. Somebody's like, you know what? Civics right now are hot.
Yeah.
Let's put out the worst, creepiest ad we can and see if we sell anyway. They're just having.
no.
Why would they do that? What consumer research could possibly suggest? What you need is to have a monster in your ad.
I don't know, but
I say no.
I'm anxious
No.
to see the.
I don't relate to it. It doesn't. There's no metaphor.
Oh, I
There's
didn't
no reason
relate to it. That's not
Hey,
for
look,
us.
it's weird. So
Yeah.
buy a Civic. That doesn't.
No, it's. I think what they're saying is, hey, look at the Civic and pay attention for 30 seconds.
And also, like, it's gone after young women,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So there must be some
They
insight
love
where
trolls.
young
They
little
love
women
big
like
creepy
trolls
trolls.
or
Love trolls,
cute
and that's
little
how
hairy
I got
things.
married.
I don't want to
So
know.
Edible arrangements.
edible arrangements. One more.
Oh, surprise! It's your birthday.
Oh, an
Here's
edible
some
arrangement.
fruit.
Have you had one of these?
Oh, look at even the neighbors want one.
Oh,
They're gonna hand
isn't
it right
that
over.
sweet?
Oh, look, see.
She must really love the dude that lettered in high school, but now he's 40 and he's still wearing the jacket. And he hasn't gotten a
he
haircut.
loves
And this is a
strawberries.
new ad.
See, everybody sees it and then they pass it along.
Okay, I could imagine a kid eating that.
Yeah. Oh.
Do I even need to address this?
I don't think so. I think we're finally on the same page today. That was a
Was this
disaster.
directed by the same person that used to do the Mentos ads?
Now those sell.
I actually agree with that. but with edible arrangements, they got a guy who's working on a motorcycle. They're obviously making a statement about men.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're giving him fruit.
Yeah.
Is that who eats edible arrangements? Would you like an edible arrangement, or would you
We
rather
get them a
have
lot
something-
at the agency.
Oh,
like people
I
send
actually
them to
love
us.
them. I think they're fantastic. But
They gotta
In
improve
coastal
like
towns,
the
that
ad
makes a
was
lot of sense.
disaster.
'Cause you're
You
next
should
door
be
to
ashamed
three
of
vegan
yourself, that
restaurants,
agency that
but-
put that together.
But in middle America, come on.
No, here's the thing. Also, the ad was so boring. It's
It
like,
was.
You're not going to pay attention to that
But also,
thing.
it's also like
Do something inspiring.
you're getting
and unique.
fruit, and fruit should taste good. Yet
Yeah.
they're doing nothing around how good the fruit tastes.
Well,
it's
the
more
kid
about
illustrated it at the end a little bit.
like, kids like anything.
Yeah, if nobody,
Yeah.
not my kids. My kids would throw it in the garbage and then grab a candy bar. Anyway,
I get,
We
you
do
know,
yodels
if
in
you
our
don't
house.
know edible
so was
arrangements.
that 3 no's?
3 no's.
3 no's.
That was,
3 no's for the
that was just a disaster.
marketing at thisweekend.com. Marketing at thisweekend.com. Send us your thoughts, your questions, and let us critique your stuff here on the show.
Yeah, and tell us, iTunes, please. Love
we're
us
gonna
or
play
hate
the
us. We
Scott
want to
Mc-
know. We really do want to know.
Let's
It's
play the
very
Scott
helpful to us.
McDonald remember our Twitter handle.
Marketing TWI, and I'll tell you what the password is. It's no. Okay, so next week we've got Casey Winters, who is marketing director at Grubhub, a really cool concept coming out of Chicago. Did you invest in them?
No, we have not.
No,
I haven't
you
even
should.
seen it.
Cool concept. Check it out, and we'll be talking to them next week. Anything else, Dan?
I won't be there, so for those of you that suffer me because you really want to hear what Scott has to say, you're going to love next week.
There goes our women audience. All right, we will see you next week on This Week in Marketing. Thanks.